My name is Jim Copenhaver, and I am the Director of Enterprise Solutions at SPINS here. I'm also the Product Manager for our store-level data initiatives, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So to topic number one, how do I identify and unlock the potential from increasing store distribution? And in the summary we talked about, this is how do we know how many doors we're in, and how do we get into more doors out there across the country, across multiple channels? So the couple of things that I'd want to know from store level data is how widely are my products distributed within retailers? So if you're Publix with 1,800 stores, I'd like to know how many of the 1,800 stores are carrying each one of my items out there. We call those points of distribution. I'll talk more in a little bit about that. And the second thing is, what's the gap between my current distribution level and full distribution? So store level data unlocks and helps us understand that. So a way to think about this is points of distribution is simply number of available stores times number of items. So if I have 10 items in my line and there are 100 stores in the retailer, then I have 1,000 points of potential distribution. So what store level data will tell us is how many of those points of distribution were we showing movement in last week. And so as you'll look, we'll talk a little bit about how many of those points of distribution. So for example, if I had a combination of items and stores that were 500, it would say that my distribution level is 50% on my line. And then I could look at that and say, what happens if I get to 60%? What happens if I get to 70%? The other thing we can do is we can value each one of those points of distribution. So for each place that I am, for each item, there's an average movement. And I could say those 10 points of distribution from 50 to 60, each point of distribution currently in the places I'm in is worth 10 cases a week. And let's just say it's a 12-pack case. So that's worth 120 units per week. And so we can come up with how many units could I expect to see in incremental sales from that 10-point lift, as well as we can put a dollar value on it. We know what the average selling price is for the product. So again, we could apply the number of units times the average selling price, and that would tell us what the upside potential is. So there in a nutshell is how we would use store level data to identify and unlock the potential from increasing store distribution. So now the question becomes, hey, I'm already buying SPINS data. Is this a natural extension to it? Sure. You're already buying categories and channels, and in a lot of cases, you're probably buying key accounts. This is the next step that says, after I understand my world from those dimensions, I now want to understand it at store level. And there are going to be new things that I couldn't see at key account level that now become revealed to me. But in talking to our sales reps, especially the ones who call on newer accounts or smaller accounts, their question to me, which is a very logical question, is, hey, Jim, instead of starting at the top and cascading down, why wouldn't smaller brands use store level data as their entry point for insights and information? And as I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. I never thought of that before. So the other way to think about this is you may not be buying key account data. You may not be buying channel data. You could start with, hey, I'm $1 million brand and I'm distributed in these places. I'd like to know what my distribution is in fresh time. And I'd like to know how many stores I'm in and what price point I'm getting. So another application courtesy of our sales force and the people who call on those accounts, yes, it would be a perfectly good application to start your journey with SPINS at store level data and then graduate into key accounts and channels. So whether you run this problem from the top down, you're currently buying the information and it's an extension to get more granular, or you're not sure where to start, but you don't necessarily want to start at the macro view of the world, or you don't have the budget to start at the macro view of the world, store level data through SPINS is a good way to get in and do a bite-sized chunk and then graduate from there into more information, more investments, and obviously those would be fueled through growth in your business. So we would like to be on this journey with you, and information and insights. Store level data is one of the pieces that we bring, and we'd love to talk to you further about your particular needs and how store level data through SPINS can help you grow your business.